and Eric out getting some late December winter steelhead fishing in. And before we jump into any kind of report on today's results, Eric, I know that you have a badass, what do you call that thing?
Dong?
No, you and Zach got a show going.
Friendly?
Podcast.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your podcast.
White men talking, opinions, mass opinions, more white men. That's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's this white man podcast called?
Two white men in a fly shop. Yeah, it's called The Struggle is Real. Yeah, it's just whatever. Everyone's got one, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So we're probably going to continue doing it for a while. We record it every week at the shop before we set up, so we're in there at the butt crack. Yeah, chopping it up. There's some fishing in there. Some. I don't know if it's a fishing podcast. I mean, we fish, but I don't know.
What are you mainly highlighting on the podcast? You guys just kind of going on rants about your guide life, or is it just everything in general in life?
Not really. I mean, people, I'm sure they've seen a episode or two of Friday Night Flies. It's not really that. It's like, I don't know, chapter 2 or whatever, becoming a good human being, fucking version 2.0 or something.
Wait a minute, you're trying to become a good human being?
I mean, that's the goal. It's fucking hard, dude. Goddamn, every day. So the last pod I talked about, I have a note in my phone every morning. It just says, be kind and be nice to the dogs, because I'm always yelling at them. So that's pretty much my mantra in the morning. But
that's good.
I don't know. Last week we covered that fucking lady at the White House that got the bad lip injections.
I have no idea even what you're talking about.
We got that. We covered Zach's grandma maybe having the first pizza ever in New York.
Oh, hell yeah.
We covered me ingesting copious amounts of mushrooms last winter and everything I learned from that.
Oh, that's good.
That was fun. Both things. And there's some surf perch fishing in there.
Oh, cool.
Kind of sprinkled in.
In this last episode there was?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I mentioned another podcast, the Slide In podcast. Kelly Gallup and Braden got his name right. And then they just mentioned us. So we're really sharing the love out there in the podcast world. But it's just fun. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of good fishing podcasts out there. Sorry. There's some good ones on fishing, but I don't know. They're just, I mean, I'm not bashing on them. It's just like, it's kind of just like, where did you start fishing? Tell me about fishing and whatever. So there's a million of those. It's just, Zach obviously was in, a really famous band. I got a bunch of years guiding experience. He just started guiding. So it's just, bullshit really. Something to listen to on your day into work or road tripping or something like that.
And you guys are shooting for like an hour long each episode?
Yeah, like an hour and a half, something like that. But yeah, we'll usually recap what we're seeing out on the river guiding, our own fishing, and then just general buffoonery that gets mixed up in there. So
right on.
Yeah, it's been fun.
So the name of that podcast again is The Struggle is Real, and super creative spelling on real, REEL.
Got to get the pun in there.
Got to get the pun
Gotta
in there.
Get that pun.
I would have thought that Zach would have come up with a better name, honestly.
Well, I mean, we had Adiposer, which was great, but there's somebody already with that or something like that. But then there's also like The Struggle is Real. There's like 17 other ones of those too. Yeah. So yeah, I liked Adiposer quite a bit too. I don't know. It's a working name, but yeah, we're gonna have some sweet merch.
And you guys have a hell of a logo too. I freaking love that logo.
Well, that logo's going bye-bye because we got the homie working on some really cool shit. So probably just shirts that Zach and I will wear, but whatever.
Well, I'll wear one for you.
Okay, there we go.
Not that really matters, but again, podcast is The Struggle is Real, REEL, and it is Zach and Eric who are recording that at the fly shop. So that's awesome. I also want to do a quick shout out tomorrow, Eric, at our shop. You are doing a fly tying demonstration, is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's 12 to 5 p.m.?
Not even close.
Not even close.
1 to 4 p.m.
Oh, dude, that was close.
Not really. You added 2 hours on
all right.
Yeah, just we're getting into winter steelhead season, and there's a bunch of clinics and classes and all that stuff. But yeah, this one's just free. Just come on by. I'm at the shop anyways tomorrow, so I was like, what the fuck, whatever. Yeah, like tube flies, intruders, leeches, whatever you kind of want to learn, just show up, bring your vise and tools, and I'll have mine. I kind of did like a little hybrid thing this week where it's like a little bit of a tube, a little bit of a shank with the trailer, and it's not like, mind-blowing new or whatever, but it looks pretty cool. Just some different kind of loops of dubbing and some fucking whatever. It's just a bunch of hodgepodge of stuff, but they'll eat whatever if they're in the run, but that fish ate it, and you're like, oh, that looks pretty good, and then 3 casts.
Well, they don't even know that fish, what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just go ahead and jump right in to a fishing report. So the first big thing is water is starting to drop, right?
Finally, goddamn.
Yeah, and we've been spending time, I know we've been spending time on various different rivers here in the Pacific Northwest. We're not giving out each location name. Today, Eric and I...
It's the Kalama and the Cowlitz all day. That's the ones we're on. They're stocked full of fish. Get out there. Beads, fucking gear, fly. They're eating everything.
Everything.
No.
You didn't have to put a hook on it.
Yeah.
But we're out here, so water is officially starting to drop. Boat ramps, not exactly in the best of shape, but they're working on them, right?
I mean, they're not working on the one that we're on right now. Yeah, I mean, you can get a boat in, just, be careful. Don't do something dumb. If there's sand, it's sand.
It is quicksand.
If you put your truck or whatever on any sand, it's going to sink. So if you're backing a boat in, just don't back anything more than you have to and slide your boat off and drag it.
I was barely even in the sand, and it was peeling out on me. So, yeah, make sure that you're not backing up too far.
Carlos said if steroids was a truck when he saw your pickup.
If steroids was a truck?
I fucking died. I was like, that tracks.
Yeah.
And even that motherfucker almost got stuck.
I love Bessie. That's her name, Bessie.
Oh, okay. I don't name anything. I don't name my boats or my trucks.
You name your dogs.
I think you have to.
Oh.
I wanted to call Goodnight Shithead from the movie The Jerk, but they weren't having it.
Well, so we're out here fishing today. You fished yesterday. You guys landed a coho yesterday, correct?
Yeah, a big, wild, bright buck. Yeah, surprise, surprise. I checked the counts over Bonneville and the Willamette, and there's 0 coho gone over in the last week. So, I told
maybe
Carlos
the person counting was asleep at the wheel.
Buy a lotto ticket, and then I saw a couple other roll too. So there was like a little just push coming through, and yeah, in 15 years of guiding out here, we've never swung up a coho. I know people, whatever, do it. We haven't, and so that was pretty cool to see. It went nuts too, and kind of at the end of the day, so.
That's awesome. And then let's talk about today. So we're out on a different river today and working our way through. We've seen, one boat out here so far today? Watermaster? I don't even know if you can call that a boat. Yeah,
a couple bank fishermen. Yep. Nobody catching anything that we talked to. The river's still pretty high. I mean, I would prefer it lower. There's definitely some up to my titties waiting going on, but the Viz is coming back. There's like 1 foot to 2 foot in some spots, which is plenty.
Yep.
It's raining now. Whatever, just go. Go when it's high, go when it's low. I've caught them in bright ass sun and super low water, and I've got blanked on perfect conditions and high water. So,
well, today's results. You've hooked a couple of fish, had one at your feet. Yeah. Note to self: remember to bring your net.
I brought one. I just left in the back of my truck.
Well, we kind of had a change of plans today, right? Yeah. Like this morning at 5:30. Eric was texting me like, hey, the river we're going to go to, probably not an option today. So we changed our plans. I went and got my drift boat this morning. Didn't think to bring the net because Eric was going to be bringing his shit, and that didn't happen. So we did the
brought the shit. This didn't transfer said shit to the steroid truck.
Well,
so
okay.
Yeah.
So we're still without a net, and Eric just a few minutes ago had a beauty of a fish on, and went to tail it and got off. But tell us a little bit about that fly, because I think that fly was super sexy.
Yeah, I mean, I like big flies, even in low water, clear water. People are like, oh, you got downsize. It's just about pressure. So if you got a lot of pressure on the river, the fish aren't going to be happy no matter what. But I just think of steelhead as just trying to piss them off, so I'm not trying to tie a shrimp pattern or some shit like that. I know guys really believe in it and whatever. I'm just trying to make them mad. So I tend to throw bigger stuff, just a lot of rabbit, and the whole sparse thing. That's another one I just disagree with. I want some movement. So I tie them pretty big. And then you also have to have them weighted though, so they actually sink somewhat. But yeah, I mean, it's no secret it's a black and blue rabbit strip, but there's some stuff under the hood with some different brushes and stuff like that make it move better. But it's just, honestly, there's no secret. Anybody that's like, oh, this is the fly, like, they either are purposefully lying to you, trying to sell you some shit, or they haven't steelheaded enough, because they will literally eat anything when they're in the mood. But it looks good. That's my confidence color, black and blue. I know some people's are purple, and I mean, I like red and whatever, but that's just, that's my confidence color. So whether it's a marabou tube or a shank or something like that, I do kind of like the combo. So I saw Jerry French tie something, the wild thing or the squiddy thing or something like that just recently. It's cool. It's a cool bug, but he does this thing with like the trailer hook with backing or braid or something, where it like goes through the hook, around the hook, back through another loop, and then he feeds the rabbit tail in, and it can kind of get pinched, and like he's good at getting it just right. But I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and I was finger fucking that thing for 40 minutes probably last night, and just out of frustration, I'm just like, what? Why am I doing this? So it's just a little combo. So I just tie a piece of tube first on a tube adapter, and then I tie the rabbit to that, and then I just tie on just a small 20 mil shank, and I feed the braid through that, and it's got, here's a little trick, little sneaker. You get those Pro Tube extra small tungsten donuts. You put a cone on for like color and weight, just a brass one, and then that tungsten raw weight actually fits into that too. So it's actually got a little bit more weight, not super heavy. Then you thread the backing through that, and I go through the eye of the shank and whatever. But that way, like, you can just measure it, and then you just put the looping back through the tube, so it's at the exact length that you want, rather than trying to fight that. And so I just like it better. I just, rather than have that braid or whatever to the rabbit, it can cut through it sometimes. I don't find it to be as durable or whatever. But I do like what Jerry was saying with like some of the tubes up front with the beads up there. Like you get caught in a rock or something, that tube will bend, or like it just gets mashed, or the eyes spin. So I kind of like having that tube on the back and then the shank in the front. So like you just take a little bit from each world and mash them together. It looks really good in the water. And there's kind of like when I saw Travis tie the Lady Gaga like 1,000 years ago, I really like that color spectrum that he did. It's nothing new, but he really blended blues really well from like light to dark. I think he used every color blue that they make, and it's just this nice spectrum. So I kind of did that with a couple dubbings, and then marabou, and then rabbit. So it just looks like you want your fly to you want to look at it and be like, yeah, like they're gonna eat that shit.
I'm gonna tell you, when I saw that fly as we were getting ready to land that steelhead, I had fly envy.
Yeah,
I mean, I was just a little bit of fly envy.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it, I was like, it's
a sexy looking fly, and it produced. And that was a beautiful fish you just had on, and then still same fly. You worked your way down through this water that we're fishing just behind us, right? Had a couple more grabs, same exact fly.
Yeah, it's cool. Like the without going into an hour talk about steelheading, it's not made for everybody. I talked about this last live, but like the longer you do it, and for me it took a long time, right? Like whatever, this is my 19th year steelheading, 15th year guiding, something like that. It's cool because like we fished a couple runs today where I'm like, oh, 100% they sit in here. Like every cast through like whatever the bucket, or there's a couple runs where I was like, that first run I was like, this thing fished from womb to tomb.
Yep.
You're just like, they're gonna eat it, but they either, they probably weren't there, or whatever, they'd caught earlier, or they're just not in the mood. But for sure they're eating it when they're in the mood there. And we started out in this run, and it was just like a little quick or a little shallow. You can see stuff and you're like, oh, it's not right. And I got lower, and I kind of looked down river, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that little flat spot, and like you can see the gradient level out. You're like, oh, it's probably a little slower, like it's just off the seam. Like that's where I'd be. I'd sit right there. And when I got into there, it came through and she ate it. It's like, oh fuck, it's not like, wow, everybody, look at me, I'm the best. But it's cool to like, after years, to go like, if they're there, they're gonna eat it right in that 5 foot section. And she did. And then
she did.
Started, and it was like a nice bright hen, whatever, 9 to 11 pounds.
Yep, beautiful fish.
We got it up, and David was like, oh, you want to tail it? And he was kind of trying to get a photo of it. And I was like, oh, like, we used to tail them all the time before nets. And yeah, she got close. She wasn't ready, and I grabbed the leader, and she popped. Whatever, we're going to let them go anyways. Yeah. But so then, again, with like the whole reed water stuff and how it feels, like I start fishing, and it just like starts to like frog out. Like it's still swinging through there, but like it doesn't feel fishy. And I think the more time you spend in water that they're going to eat a fly in, you're going to catch more fish because you're not wasting 20, 40 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, I mean, you push through that water fast.
I mean, yeah. I probably walked 100 yards. 100%. I was like casting. I was like, no, this ain't it. Then I could look at it. I was walking, kind of shallowed up. There was kind of some sand. Then it went to like rock. I'm like, oh, maybe here, made a cast. Not really. Kept going. I mean, like 7 or 8 different stops, and then finally I'm like, oh, this is kind of the right speed, like good depth, like there's some rock, okay, like made a cast, took a couple steps, made another cast. I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Like lengthened out, and 2 steps later came in, and it was just like yank, and I thought she was gonna light it up and dropped it. So took a couple steps back, came back, right in the hang down, just one pull, and that's it.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Let's back up just a little bit, because again, there's a lot of new people that watch all of our stuff here on YouTube. So I want to just touch on one thing. So you
did you just call it the YouTubes?
Huh? What?
Did you call it the YouTubes?
YouTube.
No, you pluralized
YouTubes. The YouTube. Whatever.
Okay.
The Googles. Anyway, so you're working your way through this run. You had a grab, and just again, tell people what you do. You take a step. How many steps roughly are you taking back? And are you coming back in towards the bank, or are you trying to work the exact same water?
I mean, way back in the day, I mean, if I felt, a stonefly fart on my fly, I would back up and go through. And if nothing happened, I would back up and change flies and come through. And if nothing happened, I'd back up, change flies, come through. If nothing happened, back up again, put on the original fly and come through. And usually I'm backing up. I mean, I would back up a good amount, like 10 feet. So whatever, like, 7 or 8 steps up to make sure I got above it. And then I would fish it, however many steps past it, like, a good 3 casts past where I got the grab. And kind of a good rule of thumb is when you get a eat and it drops it, before you do anything, just look at the bank, either across from you or behind you, and pick a landmark so you know exactly where you're at. And I see a lot of people I'm like, hey man, back it up, and they immediately start reeling in. Yeah. Why do they do this? I don't know, but I'm like, hey, stop, man. You want the same amount of line out. You just want to back up. So just keep the same amount of line, walk up, 6, 7, 8 steps in the same exact line, make the same cast, same mend, everything. People are like, oh, I slow it down, I speed it up. Whatever. Do whatever you want, but she ate it one way. You just want to see if she's going to eat it again. And
so back it up. You're not talking back towards the bank. You're talking back upriver.
Yeah, just straight in a straight line back upriver to get above that fish.
And essentially having that fly swing exactly through the exact same way as it did before.
Yeah, I want to set it up so they see it coming again. Yeah. So like, if they eat it and they don't turn on it, I don't throw it back in there again. I see a lot of guys do that. They're like, oh, I just had a grab. I'm like, don't cast there because it didn't eat it. So like, the chances of you throwing it right back in there and them eating it is pretty low.
Yep.
At least for winter fish. Summer fish is a whole different ball game. So I want to like let them kind of reset. So I back up. It gives them a couple minutes. I'll change flies, and then they see that fly coming for like 4 or 5 casts, getting 2 feet closer. They like to, at least I imagine they do. They like to have stuff predictable and be like, oh, it sank to here and it started coming across. Now it got closer. It sank to here. It's coming across. And if they don't eat it, back it up. Especially if you like walk into a spot and you get a grab, it's like, don't throw it back in there right away. And then sometimes they'll back way up. So like you'll go through 3 casts, change all your flies, whatever, go back to the original fly. You're like, oh fuck, whatever, didn't happen. And like 6 or 7 casts past that, you get them. So like they'll swirl back around.
So I hear sometimes people talk about putting a smaller fly on when you back up, put a smaller fly on. You don't necessarily believe it.
I mean, you got to do whatever has worked for you in the past. I mean, there's no like guarantee, and I can't see into the water. I just know that like there's been a couple specific times, again, way back in the day, like 10 years ago, one time in particular where got down, end of the day, 1 run left. I was on the Clackamas, spoiler alert, and I was supposed to meet my girlfriend at the time at like 5. I look at my watch, it's like 4:15. I'm already going to be
You're late.
Like, I get to the boat ramp
done.
at 4:30. Maybe I get home at 5:15 or 5:30.
Yeah.
So I was like, God, should I fish this run? Nothing had happened all day. Again,
you should fish the run.
Duh. I'm in the water. So I'm fishing. I get into the bucket, and it's just like tap. And, you know, I know that river pretty good. I'm like, I know there's not a rock there, but it didn't pull. And I was like, fuck. So I walk up 6, 7 steps, change flies real quick, come through, same spot, tap, nothing big, go back up. I did this probably at least 6 times, and just one tap, not even a pull. I'm like, what is that? I go back to the original fly. I go through, no tap this time. I'm like, okay. So then I go back to my boat. I dig through my box, and I find this fly that it was too big. It was like a purple rabbit leech that was probably 5.5 inches. I don't know what I was thinking when I tied it. It was way back in the day. I'm like, fuck it. Put that
the bigger
thing
the
on.
better.
Got, started above, worked down, came into it. It came across the bucket and absolutely just smoked it. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. And it was like a big wild hen. I was way late. Girlfriend was all pissed. Totally worth it. We're not dating anymore. Fuck it.
Shocker.
So from then on, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do that in the wintertime. So more times than not, that's worked for me. I kind of cut the middleman out. It's kind of like a fight or flight response, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they kind of grab it, or they peck it or pluck it or pull. It's like, okay, I back up. I throw the biggest shit I have on. Not flashy though, just big. So like big rabbit, like a dark, bright, whatever you want. Just kind of the biggest rabbit, maybe some ostrich, marabou. Just lots of movement. You could have flash in there. I tend to not have a ton of it. And I send that thing through there to be like, hey, you were kind of agitated before. What do you think
now
about
you're really
this?
going to be agitated with the tri-met bust
Yeah,
coming through.
and it's either I get that fish right away, like I come through and they eat it, or I have spooked it, because I've changed flies a million times after that. They never ate anything. I went down to like a little summer fly. They're just like, no. So fight or flight. Like, they're like, oh, what's that? Grab it. Put the fucking, Godzilla through there, and they're just like, either smash it or it scares them.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Just real quick, you mentioned the Clackamas. You have floated the Clackamas recently.
Yeah.
Some pretty big changes to the Clackamas.
If you fish the Clackamas, get ready. Everything's gone. So just enjoy that this winter.
It's going to be a whole new learning experience for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, house run, gone. It's 8 feet deep right against the bank. And at 13 feet, which is like kind of barely high, we couldn't even stand in front of the house. It was like over our waders. Eagle Creek, that big bend that you can walk to at low water, yeah, she gone. There's gradient. It's fast now. There's current all the way to the bank. Fish aren't holding there. Come around the corner. Dead Horse, gone. It's a foot deep all the way out to the middle. Pretty much to the tail out now. So that filled in with gravel. If you guys are familiar with the ancient logs that's above House Run, yeah, guess what? Gone. Ripped those fucking trees out like they're toothpicks. I couldn't see them on any bank. They are gone. So that whole stretch is just cooking now. So it kind of reminds me of how the Clack used to be a long time ago. Like 12.5 on the Estacada gauge was like, it was fishable, but it was a little high. Over the last decade, it's just got wider and shallower.
Yep.
So now it just got, hundreds of evergreens mowed down that river, and it just dug that fucker out. It's deep in there now.
Yeah.
So the good news is it'll probably fish better lower now. Like, it might be like 12 feet's now good.
Yeah.
Which will be great, because some years it doesn't rain for 3 weeks or whatever, and it could fish better. But that old, now it's like, I used to be like, 13.5, everything's gonna fish awesome. Yeah. We came out a lower boat up in McIver, and we did not fish anything pretty much to Barton. Feldheimer could fish, but after that it was just cooking wide and deep. So there are some massive changes on the Clackamas. And I haven't even floated from Barton to Carver, which I'm sure is insane because you have all those feeders going in there too. So
and Carver boat ramp, as far as I'm aware of, is not
Carver
open
is closed.
still.
Yeah, Carver is fucked. The whole restroom was like underwater, so that's disgusting and doesn't work. So they got to fix that. Barton is open. It's the ramp's not bad. Feldheimer's open, but you're gonna need 4-wheel. There's so much sand and stuff that if you try to back up your trailer, even with a raft and you barely get, the tires like wet, you're gonna get stuck. So you might have to like back it and stop it like 15 or 20 feet from the water, push it off, and then drag it in there. McIver's open, but there's kind of wood up there. Nothing crazy. And there is one sweeper. So below House Run, down from Feldheimer, you come around that house that has the totem pole. When you come around that corner, usually people hug that wall. You can hug that wall, but I wouldn't, because as soon as you come around it, there's a fucking tree all the way across the river, and it's not going anywhere. And the problem is when the river drops, like you can go to the right around it, but there's probably only maybe a foot, maybe 16 inches of water moving that way. When it drops, I think the channel's going to go that way, and I don't think you're going to be able to get through it. So just know if the river drops this next week, I'll be in Mexico, low-key flex. You come around House Run, go into the middle of the river and try to go as far right as you can, and you might have to even stop, not drop, open up shop, but get out of your drift boat and or raft and like walk it or drag it through that little riffle, or just like put eyes on it. I don't even think anybody with a chainsaw is going to get through that. I mean, it is a big bitch. But yeah, I mean, crazy changes. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was unreal.
Well, that's it was an unreal amount of water that went through these canyons. I mean, Ethan and I, after we dropped you guys off and did the shuttle, we went up to North Fork Reservoir. I sent you guys photos. I think they're on Instagram as well. The amount of Douglas firs that I assume washed from the upper Clackamas. It looks like a scene from The Walking Dead where, you just have all these zombies up against the wall, and there was a massive amount of lumber, as you said, that just carved a bunch of stuff out. So Clackamas, very different. Sandy has got issues of its own. Various different boat ramps were under mud, lots of sand. Again, just be careful getting your rigs in and out of boat launches if that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them another spoiler alert. The Sandy, everybody's like, dead cow, I love it. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and I walk down there and I'm going to crush it. Yeah, you're not, because guess what? That run fucking sucks now. It is pushing so hard left.
Yes.
And it's about 5 feet deep, right up against the bank. There's nowhere really to stand. It's fast. And there's a bunch of shit in there. As well as root wads. Power lines filled in at the top. There's a little bucket in there. Whatever, that's where I got the fish. Spoiler alert, you got it.
God dang, you're just giving up. I thought we weren't talking about any of that.
Because I don't give a fuck about the Sandy, because it's so goddamn busy out here. This is probably the last time I'll fish it until next December.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a goddamn nightmare out here with the boats. But yeah, it's over. Power lines, the top fishes, like one guy, maybe 10 casts. Then it turns into a giant pond.
That's where,
even at like 11 feet right now. And then it doesn't fish. Maybe the last 10 feet of the tail out at this level has a little bit of current. So basically dead cow and power lines, they're dead. Everything else fished pretty normal. So unfortunately, those are the 2 runs that took a hit. So I'm sure people will still get fish out of it, especially if it gets low. But the days of walking over there when it was like 10-7 and being like, hell yeah, I'm going to go from this run to that run. I mean, if you're gear fishing, you can fish it, but it swings like absolute horseshit, unfortunately.
The thing I love about fly fishing, though, is that there are no certainties, right? The runs change, especially high water events like we just had. The amount of rainfall that we had in that 24-hour stretch was just absolutely absurd. And I don't know, I get bored real fast. I mean, I see squirrels and birds flying, and I'm like, my distraction kicks in. That's what I love about fly fishing, is the river is going to change, and you guys, if you have been used to the Clackamas and used to the Sandy, it's different. and it's vastly different than it was last year. And so you're going to have to spend time. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to be out there swinging flies, not touching a fish, and you're going to have to relearn it. And that's the beauty of fly fishing to me. It's like we don't just go out there and throw a spoon out there and reel it back in. Like, we're working water. We're trying to figure out where the fish are holding, and this is what I friggin' love. Like, I'm out here.
I mean, there's definitely the last 2 days of being out here and being out in the Clack, like, there's a lot of spots where you could tell a tree was there at one point.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of small, like, swingable buckets. Like, one guy in there, maybe, I don't know, you could probably get your head out and maybe 3 to 5 poles, and you'd get like 5 to 8 casts. But it's like, it's nice. It's like a little choke point, or it's up above a rapid, like a little, bottom of a tail out. A lot of the tail outs, like the very end of them, got dug out, and there's like just these little holding spots. So yeah, it will be fun for people to like kind of like just kind of scout around.
It's a whole new river.
Yeah, there's plenty of spots today where I was like, oh, like if we had more time, or you just wanted to pop out, or if I was guiding out here, like I'd pop in there, like I'd swing that, like I'd check that out. And then there's other spots that we stopped at and looked at, and it's like, oh, this is like nothing. It's like an inch deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be kind of cool. It kind of hit the reset button on everybody. There's still some of the classic runs on both rivers, but the big, the top 5 or whatever, the big ones that everybody catches a lot of fish out.
Everyone rushes down to.
They're the ones on the Clack, and the ones out here, the ones on the Clack are gone. The ones out here are very difficult, and they just don't seem like they're going to hold fish. So we'll see.
Well, it's going to even the playing field a little bit for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but it's starting to pour rain, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. I want to do just a quick shout out again. Eric, you're doing winter steelhead guiding. We've got multiple other guides that are doing winter steelhead. We've got an event with Travel Creel coming up for coastal steelhead. I believe that's in February. You have to go to our website to check out the dates on that. I think the point is get out and fish. I mean, we've got just a few more days left in 2025 before the clock rolls over to 2026. We've got available dates for getting out with Eric and other guides. So let's get you on the water. Let's get you fishing. Let's explore these rivers together and have a hell of a time doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, tomorrow too at the shop, I'm there all day, but from 1 to 4, we're doing the winter fly tying, winter bugs, but also like totally feel free to just stop in and like Q&A, like anything that basically just going to be talking winter steelheading. So you got questions about shit, you don't tie flies, but you're like, oh, like what's up with these sink tips, or when do you fish this, or what's this about? There wasn't like a lot of that when I started out, so I was like trying to figure a lot of it out myself, and kind of not making sense when this sentence, but like all the stuff on the internet, so much of it's so bad. Nothing against some of the people, but like there's a lot of people out there with like, I don't know, fucking it's not ego, I don't know, they like have caught a couple fish and they're like, this is how you do it. And I mean,
they're opinionated. They think
they're very opinionated, and like some of the stuff's right, but fuck, I listened to some of it and I'm like, this guy doesn't like know what they're talking about. So yeah, if you got questions, or I heard this or that, like again, I'm not like an expert, but I mean, I've been doing it a long time and taking a lot of people. I can definitely point you in the right way and just kind of like clear some stuff up. Yeah, and just get you like a little bit more confident going into the winter season. And if you tie flies, like there's a couple little like, it's not so much about the patterns, but it's like, oh, this is like how you can not build bulk, or if you want to add bulk, or like this is how you can blend these materials, or like, just like
some hacks.
Yeah, I mean, I love tying flies, so I'll never stop. But like even, the last couple of years, I was like, oh, this makes it so much easier. Like, oh, I could do like this with that. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So we're just going to be chopping it up tomorrow from 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah, and it's free. And you can just stop in, whatever you need to buy shit or whatever. Just pop up a couple questions, or bring your vise if you want to spin some bugs up. And yeah, it should be cool.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for those of you who tuned in and saw people bouncing in and out. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to Fly Fishing Unfiltered from Northwest Fly Fishing Outfitters. We're going to go probably swing a couple more runs before we head on home. Eric, as always, I appreciate getting out here fishing with you. Eric and I, we're going to be going and hitting a lot of new water this year. Things have changed a lot because of these flows, and we're going to be pushing the envelope. We're going to be dropping boats into some shitty areas and just having a hell of a time doing it. So keep tuning into these videos for updates on winter steelhead fishing, and we appreciate you tuning in. So with that, we're going to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 to 4 o'clock at the shop, or before if you need anything. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.